Hello, hello. Sorry we're late, everyone. I was up on time and in the studio on time. Amar was in the studio on time. And then I realized something that I swore I packed to come here. Very important, my meds. I can't find them. So I was looking for them. And I think during this first sprint, I might have to go to my apartment. But I also have breakfast, so I think the first sprint's actually going to be eating my breakfast here. We'll chat. We'll do some work. And then second sprint, I'll rush over to my apartment and hopefully come back. Yeah, which is such a pain in the ass. Okay, for Romeo 6 X-ray uniform for Bravo Sierra Golf. I don't think I made any typos. Let me just double check. 4R6XU4BSG. Yeah. Hello, hello, Regina, Christian, Heather. Hi. Cleaned out my stationery drawer. I mean, it's not like I put it in there. Nope.
That is glitchy.
People to... Okay, 2 people are in the forest room. Great. Okay. Just still looking everywhere, hoping to find it. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Because it was the first thing I threw into my suitcase because I was like, oh, I'm going to be here.
And you've taken like everything out of your suitcase?
Yeah, that's why
Like,
I was
the whole
starting.
thing, yeah. Yeah, like you dumped everything. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, let me just look, and then I can find it. So I was like, oh, wait, it all comes out. Still wasn't in there. I might still do that one more time during this first sprint.
Yeah.
Leave on the second sprint. And then realize, well, it's not there either. So, but yeah. We're going to start the first sprint. And I'm not going to have the do the Pomodoro with the built-in 5-minute breaks, because if I'm not back in time after the second sprint, I'd have to, change the video for the timer midway through, and I'm just trying to make less work for myself.
That makes sense.
So in 3, 2, 1, happy productivity, everyone. We're back. My mom is being very sweet and is going to my apartment to get my meds for me because I tore apart this whole room and so did she, and we can't find them.
That is really sweet that she's doing that for you, though.
I also am collecting Band-Aids on my right arm like a Girl Scout because I keep finding bug bites on me.
Oh, yeah. I have so many.
So it's like I'm worried that, because I scratched it, I created abrasions. So then I don't want to put like, anti-itch cortisol on top of the scratch.
Oh, no.
There are certain things where it's like, don't put it over an open thing. So this one, like I had broken skin while scratching it before I realized what I was doing. And then this one, I only did once, but I was like, just in case because I scratched it.
I was going to get up and make coffee, and then I was like, I'm just going to find the Canva template that I need, and then just started like zeroing in. I didn't even put my glasses on. I'm just like getting right up on my screen because the boys start middle school tomorrow, and apparently they don't give them, like at their last school, in elementary school, they gave them this like little planner thing, and then we were told that they don't do that. I don't know why. It's very weird. I don't know. Every school, even though it's the same district, does things a little differently. And my kids definitely will need something to write down if they have homework and stuff like that. So I could just buy them one, but Jason said he wanted me to make him one. So I do think it's better this way. So I'm like going in, and I was able to find one like weekly schedule, but it had like all the days on one page. So it's not enough room. So
Yeah.
I figured out how to like divide it into two, but now I have to like go through and like each line I'm like adjusting how things look, because they have, it's the weirdest thing. On 3 days a week they'll go to all 6 classes, and then 2 days a week they go to their 3 classes. So they have like block scheduling and only 2 days of the week. I don't know, it's weird. But they both have their 3rd period math together and their 5th period PE together, which actually makes my life easier making these little planners, because I can make 5th period like this big because it's just PE, and then that gives me space. So that's what I was doing during the whole sprint. I didn't make coffee. I didn't even find my glasses.
I mean, I would do both of those before, like now, even before the next sprint starts, so that you're ready for the next sprint. So if you want to go find your glasses.
No, that's okay. No, I can do that during the next sprint. That's totally fine. Because I can see. I just can't see far away.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot to do because it's the last day of summer, back to school tomorrow. And yesterday I went through every single item of clothing that they had to figure out what fits and doesn't. So I could finish the last of their back to school shopping with them today. And then here, I'll show you. 1 second.
I'm trying to find the ghost mushroom to set up the next forest room.
So Jason didn't want a new backpack because he really likes his old one. But Jesse wanted a new backpack, and he picked up this one. I just think it's so
cute. Love it.
Matching lunchbox and pencil case. It's so cute.
That is really cute. Where is this ghost tree? Also, what's irritating is I've already gotten everyone I know to get the Forest app, and now they're like, if you invite people, you can get another different unique tree. And I'm like, I already got everyone on here like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago. Found it. So I'm just like, come on, man.
Oh, I need to grab my charger too.
You know what? I created the room, but I actually want to very briefly do the invite thing, which is so stupid. I'm gonna add add that to the description or something. Or add a banner. Because I need to invite people, and then collectively, if they plant 600 minutes together, I get the pineapple treehouse. Just so irritating.
Give me 2 seconds. Jason had my computer yesterday and apparently it wasn't plugged in. So I got to run or else it's going to kick me out. I'm going to go grab my charger. I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't know. Just really irritating. There we go. Heather, I think you'd need another, like, Forest app account.
Luckily, they asked last night to sleep in the living room, so sneaking in there and grabbing my charger really quickly did not awaken the monsters.
Yay.
Being a kid is so funny. Like, the most exciting thing is when your mom says you can sleep on the couch. So funny.
It's really nice when it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to do something, and then your parents are like, yeah, you can. Also, I realized we didn't do intros. If you don't know who Amara is,
I am a... Hold on, I'm pretty decoded and I can't think of my own name while I type this in. I'm in. I love the ghost tree. And hello, I am Amara Franklin. I'm a caffeine-addicted single mom who writes words, reads books, and talks to myself on the internet.
And my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the founder of Inimitable Books, a small publishing company dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices while pigeonholing authors into writing about their trauma. And yeah, I'm going to be editing a book during this next sprint now that I know that I don't have to be rushing off to my apartment because my mom's doing it for me. She's like, are you going to be able to fit that in this sprint? And I was like, I could try. She's like, or I could just do it for you. And I was like, I was not going to ask you to, but thank you so much for offering.
That is so nice. I bet you went to pack it, realized you wanted it on the top, and then you just like set it right next to where you were packing.
Here's the thing is I put it in, it did get to the bottom. I went back in to check that I had them, but I thought I put them back in, and clearly that last step did not happen.
That last step didn't, yeah.
But they were definitely the first things I put in.
Yeah, and then you probably have the same thought I just had, which is like because they were the first, now they're going to be at the bottom. So you thought, let me take them out to put them on the top. You probably took them out and then just never put them back on the top.
And I'm just so irritated with myself because, of course, that would happen. And my brain would be like, you packed them. You're good. And you'll even double check that you packed them. And in the double checking is when I took them out. So really what I've learned is I need a triple check.
If it makes you feel better, I always forget that before school starts, we need to do like a doctor's appointment for the kids' medication reviews and stuff like that. I did remember this time to schedule it and to call before a week before school started, but they were still so backed up with appointments for anything that I couldn't get them in until September. So I was freaking out. But because my kids don't take it, like sometimes on the weekends we'll skip it for their ADHD meds and like we really focus on like during the school week. I had literally just enough left over because we didn't take it much during the summer to be able to get them every single day of the week for both home and school for both of their and then I have like 2 pills after their appointment. So just literally enough pills to get them through from the first day of school until their appointment plus time for it to be filled.
Yeah, the time
But,
for it to be. I was cleaning out my apartment and I forgot that there was a period where I had 2 pharmacies filling the same prescriptions, and because normally it would be like we couldn't fill this, something happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to cancel it at the other place. But there was one time where somehow it went through both places, and so I was like, oh, I'll save these for a rainy day. And I was like, because they're medicines I take on a daily basis, and if I had ever forgotten to refill one, like I would be set for these. Like these are probably the 2 most important meds I take. And I'm cleaning out the cabinet in my bedroom, which the top shelf of it is still a nightmare. Every other shelf is now organized and I can see what's there. And it's not just like, oh, I know this is my makeup shelf. I know this is my medicine shelf, but like I can actually see all of it. Because what I do is I take all my pills and I put them in daily things so that I'm set to go. I grab it and I'm set. Which has been working, except when I came back here. But I hadn't like gone into that shelf in a while and been like, oh, this is expired. I don't take this medicine anymore, like XYZ. And as I was doing that, I was like, oh, here are those bottles. So then I put those in like places where I can actually find them easily again.
That's good. That's really good. So I saw this thing because like I've been wanting to get one of those like brick things to lock yourself out of your phone, but they're like so expensive. And I saw a video that was like you can literally do it with a free app and an NFC tag. But you can't just buy like one NFC tag. You have to buy like a pack of them. So now I have like 30 of them. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the other ones? And it's really hard. Sometimes I forget if I took my medication. I always remember usually with the boys, but I want to try to see. I've been looking at all these shortcuts. I think I'm going to put one on each of our medication bottles because then if you just like tap your phone to it, it'll log that we took it. So then if I'm ever sitting there and I'm like,
you have to explain this to me after the sprint because I want to know
more and we got a sprint. Got it.
But that sounds great. But I'm like, how does the NFC tag? So yeah, I want to hear it.
We'll do it after.
Yes. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. Well, that sounds really cool. Heather said, OMG, I wanted to open up Facebook on my PC, so I started typing in the browser, FA, hits enter, mistake, brings up, whole family log. These actually look kind of fun. A happy accident stumbling into that website. It could have gone bad. Yeah. Well, I hope they're good if you end up making any of them. Regina edited 1,400 words. Great. I deleted some emails because I had a day of my inbox not filling up, and then I got a notice saying, like, yeah, you're like 97% full again. And I'm like, how? So I just deleted a bunch, but they changed the interface, the UI design. Thank you, Mom. No, I'll get water from the fridge. Where the old version, like, it didn't look nice, but it was actually easier to select multiple emails at once that weren't next to each other to say you're going to delete them, and they had like better filter options. So I was able to sort my emails by, like, oh, are there attachments? What's the size of the email? And stuff like that. And now all those options are gone. And so it's taking a lot longer to clean up the old email. But I am able to go through a folder that I at least set up for a period of time in the old email where it was like queries sent by agents, even though I had posted we were closed. So I'm now just writing, instead of keeping those emails with attachments that I never opened on purpose, I can now just write down the name of the agent email and, like, did I write to them to say, hey, you sent this when we were closed, or did I just delete it? And if I did reply to them, if they write back like, oh, I'm sorry. And then there was one who apparently wrote back and said, like, oh, I don't read notices about when people are closed. And I'm thinking, like, you're an agent and you don't care. You don't even read to see if editors are open. Got it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Also, JK came in. Hello. Hi.
I spent the entire time messing with trying to figure out how to make this work. I still can't figure out how to make it properly log the medication, but I did figure out how. I'm going to just take the sticker off and I'm going to put it, like, I'm going to attach to, like, my desk, but I think what I want to do is, like, make something.
Is it like an app? Like, how does this work?
So,
like, how do
okay,
you
so your iPhone shortcuts, right? So I'll show you the one that I did set up because I was like, well, let me just see what I can do. So, like, on the iPhone, like, shortcuts app or whatever, you go to, like, automation, and I have two. I have one that's been in my car for a while that when I plug my CarPlay in, like, when I plug it in, it plays the very beginning of Getaway Car, right? So that says, like, nothing good starts in a getaway car every time I start my car or, like, I plug it in. It's so funny. But so you just do, like, it's just an automation. So it says, like, when it's scanned. And so, like, you just tap it and it scans it. And then I'm having this one play my writing playlist on shuffle. So I'm going to stick it here on my desk. So when I'm sitting here to write, I just, like, see if it'll work now. Hold on. Get out of it. So then when I tap it, it should. No, it's not going to do it. Now it's playing the music. So that's cool.
So you use the Shortcuts app.
You just do the Shortcuts app and you have to run it as an automation. So the whole point was I wanted to try to do, like, the brick thing, but instead of spending, they're like $60 for something that'll lock me out of my phone. And then I saw on the internet, because the internet can be cool, there's, like, a free app called Focus, FOQOS, and it does the same thing. So I can, like, set different modes. But so this was $6, but it came with 30 and I just needed the one. So now I'm like, well, what else can I do?
Well, so what I do to lock myself out on my phone, though, is just put app limits, time limits.
Yeah, I can't be trusted because when I do that, it just says like, oh, do you want 15 more minutes? I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Oh, okay. Well, so I only do that with certain apps, but most of the time, just the barrier is like, oh yeah, I should be sleeping. So like, yeah, everyone's needs are different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you set it up through the Forest app to be the one controlling it, it'll say, like, if you open the app, it'll say, think about this for 5 seconds. And then it'll say, do you still want to open? And then you say yes, and it only gives you 5 minutes at a time.
Oh, that's
you
nice.
have an option to do like 15 minutes or ignore. It'll keep being like.
Yeah, I like this because like the way that this is gonna work is I'm gonna stick this in like a really crappy spot, like where I'm gonna have to like go into my kitchen, and I think I'm gonna put it like in the cupboard, but like you open the cupboard and it's like underneath the drawer. So I have to like reach, like, because if I'm doing all that, then like I'm too lazy. I stopped going on Facebook just because I blocked the app on my phone, and it makes me put in like a password that that spells out stop just to open it. But I don't know. I already bought them. They were $6. I'm just wanting to see what else I can do because
I mean, the medicine one is cool, but how does that log the medicine?
That's what I'm trying to get it to do.
Are you gonna?
I don't know, because originally I thought I could just do it because I saw people. I'm trying to find the video where I watched it where she was logging like her work times, because she was like, oh, I just tap it, and in my notes it like logs like how like she taps it when she starts and or whatever, and it logs like
maybe you could set it up in the reminders app and set up the automation.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm just
and, like, have it be a daily task, but like when this NFC tag is hit, it marks off X task.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's my guess. I'm like, I don't think I'd be able to do that and have it tell my Finch app like, oh, mark this one task as done. I don't.
Yeah. I just wanted for like a log so I can go back and be like, did I remember to, or just something? Yeah, like maybe doing it as a test, just something so that way I can go back, because especially the mornings are so chaotic. And then sometimes I'll be like, did I take my medication today? I have no idea. And now
what I used to do was I used to have it in the Apple Health app. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want Apple having my stuff.
Yeah, because I did see somebody that was logging stuff in the Health app, but I don't want that either. I don't know. I'm gonna be playing with it, and I'll let you know.
I think if you made it a reminder thing, which like technically is still within the Apple ecosystem. Maybe if you had another app, you'd be able to set up an automation through there. But I was just like, Apple's native health app does not need to know.
Yeah.
My medication.
But it is kind of cool, like if you have different like focus, like so like when I'm working and stuff, instead of having to swipe down and pick certain things, and I can just like tap it and then it puts my phone in work mode or something, which I don't always do, but sometimes it's helpful because sometimes people know I'm working and they still call me.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I'm like, I just wanted one, and I have 30, so I just want to put them all over my house to do stuff. I'll probably use them once and never use them again. But the music one is actually really cool for writing, right? Because I have the two different desks. I have my desk out in like what I call my office. That's where I only like, I can do other stuff in there, but like I do not write in there because that's where I work. And then here I do all my writing in here. So I kind of like that I can just like tap and then open my playlist. I kind of like that a lot.
That is cool. I might get one and do it for something, but I'd have to think about what.
Like what?
I mean, I like the music idea, but I don't always listen to the same stuff. And I also often, like if I'm editing a book, I've learned I can't listen to music.
Anyways, if I figure out the medication one, I'll tell you how I did it.
Yeah, we're gonna start the next. I didn't share the code for the next sprint. I don't allow like promotions from first chatters. So I know that you're saying that you've lurked here. But I need you to like interact with other people first. I'm sorry. Like we're trying to build an actual community, and not just like my book is free and then that's it. Heather, I misread your comment as all is well in the Montreal font. And I'm like, what's the Montreal font? Because I love fonts. But I'm glad to hear it's all good on the Montreal front. This Friday is Black Indie Author Day. JK, I did not know that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I will definitely be messaging the social media assistant to add that to our calendar. And messaging someone else about something related to that. So thank you. I'm going to star this so I don't forget to do that during this sprint. Heather says I need to design a Montreal font now. Yeah, you should. And if you put it up on like Etsy, Creative Market, Creative Fabrica, Ko-fi, Gumroad, like I'll probably buy it. Thank you. It started as a school project and then I made it real. And yeah, you know what? I am going to share the forest room code, but then I need to go grab water so I can take my meds. We just planted the ghost. Yes, I spent all that time trying to find the ghost and then we're good. Okay, so now I need to find. Here we go. Five, Delta uniform, Foxtrot uniform, 2 Niner Sierra Golf. These codes are randomly generated, so I did not tell it to include FU. Just wanted to let you read my worst book as it is a debut book. But anyway, I'm writing books for the next 40 years, so my books will improve. Thanks again. Again, you're welcome to be here and actually interact with people. But just even if you've been here before and have lurked, which great. Thank you for the watch time. Your first actual comment to say, read my free book is still coming off as kind of spammy. So if you want to stay and interact and then, you know, like a few streams down the line and be like, hey, my book is free. Would people like to read it? You could do that. But as your first written comment, we don't do that here. Okay, code is up. I'm going to grab water. I missed the 30-minute mark to start the sprint. So I'm not going to wait until the 35-minute mark, but we'll just start whenever I come back. So.
The cotton candy tree is my favorite.
I just need 2 hands to be able to hit the start on the on-screen timer and the force app at the same time. So that's why I'm taking my meds first instead of hitting live and doing this.
That makes sense.
Oop, one of them stuck to my palm. Glad I felt that. That's one of the ones that really are time specific, where it's like it has to be before
Has
noon.
to be at this time, yeah.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I started the timer and I realized I ain't at the screen. So sorry, everyone. It's going. It's accurate. How'd you do?
I don't really know. I still can't figure out the medication thing, but I did set up the app thingy to help me lock out of everything. I just finished that. Now I'm trying to see if it works. So I tapped something. Now I don't know. Let's try to get into Instagram and see if it'll let me go. And no, it doesn't work because I can scroll. So I don't know. But I also didn't want the one for my music playlist to be stuck actually on the desk. So I made like a little thingy so I can tape it to the desk and I can like move it if I want to, because once you like pull these sticker things off, you can ruin it. And then because I already broke one. So how'd you do?
What did I do? I had to take some of the other supplements, but I try and spread them out because if I that was the old code. Yes, Regina, I had forgotten to hide it from the screen in time. But so I have to space them out. So I did that.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry. I don't know what I did. I hit a thing and because I was tapping the wrong one. Okay, sorry. My bad.
That was fair.
I was like, why is it not letting me lock out of my apps? That's because I've been tapping the music one the entire time I was testing it.
That'll
Anyways,
do
keep
it.
Going.
So then I wrote there was like a thing where they're like, oh, did you want to submit feedback? Because they had just updated the UI of the emails thing, like I said. And so I wrote to them. I was able to do so much more in the old version. So I did that, deleted some more emails, did not get to the book editing that I wanted to. So for this nope, that was number 3. Oh my God. Have we already done 3? We've already done 3 sprints. How's that possible? For this 4th sprint, I have to set up my bullet journal for the day because I didn't do it last night. And then I have to actually edit this book. And also send a few emails. And then get ready to upload a bunch of things to Google Drive for something, which I don't love because we know Google scripts everything. But that's how they do it. And then also I did send an email to someone where I was like, hey, I like asked you for something a week ago and it's important I get an answer because it affects you too. So we'll see. Yeah. Let me share. Oh my God. I'm awake. But I did only just take my meds, like 30 minutes ago. And those do help me wake up. So I'm going to blame it on that. Not the fact that I woke up at 6 a.m. 2 days in a row. Not on purpose. I mean, I agree with Heather when she says mistakes happen to the best of us, but that mistake with the RFC thing, whatever it's called, that is a little bit unique because I've never dealt with one. The only one, or NFC or whatever they're called. The only one I deal with is since my migraine treatment updated itself. They used to send you like a whole different device each time, which was so wasteful. But now they're like, oh, here's the thing. And you just tap the NFC sensor so that we know how many treatments you have left. Which, like, I get, but the other part of me is like, if you're tracking it through the app, can't you just load on more uses over the internet? So you're not having to mail these out once a month? but I don't know. Okay, 3-8 X-ray, Zulu Zulu, 5-2 Sierra Golf. Okay.
To the next part, I got distracted with all of this and forgot that I was making the boys their little planner thing. I don't think I have enough of the little coil things to like print and bind it all. But I think what I might do is just print them out like I could do like front and back, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they flip it over and then they just put it in like their little like fold, like a little folder that they pull out and write on it and see if they like that. If they even end up needing it, because we were at a meeting for the school and they were like, "Oh, we don't really assign homework."
What year are they going into?
6th, but it's their first year of middle school, which is wild. They
don't assign homework in 6th grade?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm so like, because we were talking, because like, and I remember Miss Walling, because the boys have like special education for their ADHD and stuff, and like they have like a specific teacher that they work with, and like we worked with them so hard last year and the year before to like get them to understand like homework, and especially like we all like their teachers, me, like we all drilled in with them like middle school is going to be a different thing. Like once you get there, you're going to have homework for like almost every class. Like you think it's hard. Like we're trying to get you prepared for next year, and then we go into like this meeting.
Normally is.
Yeah, and then we go into this meeting just to like, it was literally like a really informal meeting, just like meet the person that's going to be kind of helping them with their like IEPs and stuff next year and kind of get a little bit more understanding and things. And I asked like, so that I can help them, like, how much homework do you think there's going to be? And he's like, well, some teachers will assign a few things, but for the most part, we find that like, it doesn't really help to assign them like a lot of homework every day. Some teachers may not assign any. And me and Miss Walling just like look.
Okay, it's one thing. Okay. Okay. It's one thing to say they don't assign a ton of homework.
He was very weird about it, and he was just like, some teachers might assign a couple of things, but a lot of teachers don't assign any, or something along those lines. But I just remember me and like their existing special education teacher just looked at each other like, that's wild.
Does the special ed teacher not work with?
No, he's been there for a long time. No, so because they're in the middle school or elementary school, we had a meeting that was like their existing person came with us to the middle school to meet the version of her at the middle school and have like a little meeting so the boys could meet that person, meet the principal, kind of get like a little bit of like a better understanding, and then kind of go over with me like how the process of transferring all their like IEP stuff from one school to the next, especially when it's like a higher level of school, was going to be. So it was a really informal meeting, but I just remember leaving and being like, this is wild. What do you mean they don't have to do homework every single day and that most teachers won't assign any? Because we've been drilling into them that they have to do homework every day. I don't know. That's why, and the whole conversation came up because we were talking about homework planners. And he's like, we don't really give those out because the teachers don't really assign homework. So they don't give out homework planners if there's no need for a homework planner if they're not being assigned.
No, okay, no, that I get. Yes, let's not waste paper, which would then be wasting trees. And
yeah,
I work in publishing, and I know we use paper, and
yeah, so there is no point.
Everything, and now everything with Anthropic destroying books. I'm like, nope, there was a reason why we still kept physical books around, and I mean, I was still getting physical books. I still get physical books. There is something to saying giving a ton of homework to students to do to the point that they're overwhelmed isn't conducive to learning. Giving homework so people have to practice what they learned on their own and not use AI to do it for them, but actually use their own brains to learn the thing when they don't have the teacher right there to be like, give me the answer, and for them to learn it by themselves is important. So for the teachers who never give out any homework, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe in art class, but even then, I think if my art teachers had said like, practice drawing shapes and shading them, I think I'd actually be able to draw now.
Yeah. And I feel like there's just a lot that's unknown because it's only been, I think, a year or two that they've even had sixth graders there. It used to just be seventh, eighth, and ninth. Then they switched to seventh, eighth. And then, like, within the last couple of years, they moved all the sixth graders over. So I feel like they just don't know what they're doing with the littles, and figuring it out as they go. I have no idea. Like,
my school was nursery through end of middle school. 11 years of hell. But that was because of my classmates, and all the really bad classmates were either legacies or the start of legacies. So either they were a sibling or they were the first one in a family to go, but their sibling was already enrolled. So they were the people who were bullies, sexual harassers, sexual assaulters, and they only ever got a slap on the wrist, ever. So I hated that. The actual education was fine. Like, the teachers actually taught us stuff, and they all loved me because I actually was there to learn and actually did my homework and stuff. So anyway, we had nursery, kindergarten, 1st through 4th was elementary, 5th through 8th was middle school. We started middle school in 5th grade. It was in the other half of the building. And that's when we started. It was so strange because I'm pretty sure when we were little, we were walking all over the building. When we were little, and the steps were like half our height because they were steep steps.
oh, wow.
And then we get to middle school, when we're bigger, would be able to handle those steps easier. And aside from art class, which was always at the top floor, and the library, which was the first floor, I'm pretty sure once we entered middle school, we were moving around the school less. And I'm like, so you made little kids move around the school more, even though it was more difficult. But at the same time, it burned off energy that we probably had.
That was my thought too.
But it was just like, it just felt weird.
You were little, so things seemed bigger too. So maybe you had the same amount of space, but it felt bigger because you were so little.
Well, it's like, no, we'd be literally going to different floors.
Different floors. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? And yeah. I'm like, okay, fine, if you're trying to like burn off our energy, but we're 36 kids in a grade, 18 kids per class. And it was always hell for you to get us all in a straight line because you wouldn't let us move until the whole line was up against the wall and completely still and quiet. Good luck with that. Before you'd let us start walking. So we were always late to our classes. Like when we were really, really little, I think in like kindergarten and 1st grade, all our classes were essentially in our homeroom still. But once we hit 2nd grade, we were definitely moving around. Whereas I'm like, do I want to carry all my heavy books for middle school up and down? No. But by then you'd given us lockers. And I would have been able to climb those stairs easier. So I don't
schools are crazy.
How that school is organized. I'm like, this is so. It just kind of feels like someone looked at Dante's Inferno and was like, let's as a school. Honestly, now that I think about it. And I'm like, are you trying to torture your teachers? Like, what's happening?
If it makes you feel better, we went to the school on Monday because I had to drop off their Friday. It was Friday, whatever day it was the other day, because I had to drop off all their medications and talk with the nurse first. And she also has no idea because this is the first year that they've decided to like split different lunch periods because they do try to keep the 6th graders a little bit farther away from the older kids, which is good because they're young and smaller and picking on, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So they kind of separate out the different grades with lunches. but we're trying to figure out when should the boys come down to take their medications. But because of the way that like schools, it is a public school, but because of the way for like school safety, they have like everything locked. But it's like you walk in and then there's multiple different doors or like buildings, right? So there's like this building over here, this building over here, but you can't leave the one that you're in because everything is super locked down unless it's a passing period, which gives you 4 minutes. So we decided at the end of lunch, they will have 4 minutes. They have to run over to their classroom, drop off their backpack, run across the school to the nurse, take their medication, and then run back to their teacher and try to be there before like the final bell goes off, which is at like the basically 4 or 5 minute mark, because everything's locked. So they can't get in.
That's special permission because they have to go to the nurse?
Because everything's locked. Even if they did, they have like, we're gonna like talk to the teacher because luckily they only have 2 classes together because this is the first year they're gonna have multiple classes and all of that. But luckily they have their math class together and their gym class together, which was very smart to do that. And so luckily like the math one is right after lunch, which makes it perfect so they can go together. They can make sure that they do it. We don't have to worry about one forgetting and the other not because they just go together. But because the doors are locked, they won't be able to get into the building that their math class is in to drop off their stuff.
And but what I'm saying is they can't get special permission and they know, like,
I don't know. We're going to figure it out. We're just basically going to see how it goes for the first week and figure it out. But when I take them,
I feel like there's so many ways that could go wrong. And it would be like, my kid was there. He just couldn't get in.
Yeah. Or like maybe they decide maybe it doesn't make sense for them to drop off their backpacks first, right? Or maybe, maybe it doesn't make sense to drop off their backpacks and then go to the nurse. Maybe they just hustle with their backpacks on. Because I think the idea was originally like drop them off, used to communicate with the math teacher, but that adds extra time.
I think that is extra time. I think,
you know what they could do?
Thing, because in my high school, there was like a 5-minute period, like 5 minutes.
It's crazy.
But it would go from assuming your teacher ended on time, and they almost never did. Mm-hmm. And so we're all like fish swimming upstream, trying to get through the staircases and the floors to get to our classes on time.
Not enough
time. My teachers were like, yeah, if you're late, I'm going to note it, but like, I'm not going to lock you out. But then I had one teacher who would literally lock people out. And then I was like, I literally couldn't get through. And so he changed it to be like, okay, I'm going to give people 6 minutes. Like if the door is closed, you weren't managing it correctly, because I know that everyone is able to get here within 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling when we go to their medication thing, because it'll be a few weeks after school has started, right around the 3-week mark, because we talked to her last year about the possibility of doing I just take same medication, but I take it once a day instead of twice, right? And so we talked to them, but they enjoy going to the nurse, because I think they just like going to the nurse and saying hi, and they love talking to people, and they're like at that little age where they love like teachers and adults and stuff. They're not annoyed by us yet. And so that's, I think, the reason why they don't want to do it. But I have a feeling this is going to be so annoying to them that come the 3-week mark, they're probably going to want to switch to, because if we do a 1 a day, we don't have to deal with any of this. I give it to them in the morning before they go to school, and then they're done. They just do everything as normal, because on top of that, they only have 30 minutes for lunch. And then they have to do all this hustling and running around.
I mean, if they could switch to that, I get wanting to see the nurse, but
it would make life so much easier, but it's not my body, not my medication. If they prefer the twice a day, I'm not going to force them to do something else, but this is the outcome of that. You want to take it twice a day for whatever reason, you like the twice a day, fine, but just understand it's going to be really stressful. Whereas if you do it once a day, we just all go to the kitchen, yay, take it together. Because we are a very creative, silly ADHD household.
I mean, they're not allowed to have it with them.
No, but I mean, because I take them to school in the morning. So if
no, but what I mean is for their second dose, they can't
they
have it in
can't.
their backpack.
No, because it's they can't.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get it. This is why we were able to get through all the sprints so quickly, is because I wasn't yapping. My coffee's kicked in and now I'm yapping too much.
No, I love it. I love it. But I'm also, we were all just baffled by we don't really do homework here. And I'm like, because Heather said, her getting it in first grade. I'm like, I'm pretty sure my school started giving it to me in kindergarten.
And that's why I'm making them a planner, because I feel like that's not accurate. Like,
one, it might not be accurate, but two, they're going to get to high school, college, depending on their grad school, they might not have a ton of homework. But like, I mean, I got to grad school and the amount of homework I had was very different than what I expected. Mm-hmm. But it was still homework. Like, I still had to plan it.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was, just to be like, this is the reading I have to do. I barely had papers to write, which was really unexpected for me in a program about publishing. But it was all like, no, you have to do reading and presentations. That's still homework. That's still don't forget to read this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why I think I'm going to finish this. And then instead of like taking the time to print out a whole thing for both kids and print it and bind it and do all that stuff, I think I'm just going to make it like double-sided. They already have to have like a little folder, so we can put a little folder in there that has like their little planner sheets. And then they just pull it out and write it down. Because if that person that told me, oh, we don't really do that, or if they have a different teacher that maybe the English teacher last year didn't assign homework, but the English teacher that they have this year assigns a ton of homework, right? Like, we don't really know what that's going to look like. And I feel like English is going to at least have like read 30 minutes.
I think it's also like for people who are like, oh, not a lot of homework is given out and you don't have ADHD, fine. Maybe you don't need a planner. But for someone with ADHD, you kind of need a planner, even if there are only 5 things you write in it on a given day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is let's say they write one thing in it and they write it in pencil. And then at the end of the week, I can just like erase it. Right. And then we can reuse it next week. But I'd rather than have.
So I would maybe not. I think your plan of you try it out without printing a whole, without buying spirals that you might not even need. Try that and then see what happens. But we are going to start the next sprint. I missed the 20-minute mark.
Sorry.
Heather might want to keep chatting, but I do need to do work because I have a deadline on the 22nd and I'd like to get more work done by then. Okay, final sprint in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I'm sorry I lost track of time. I hope I wasn't too late, but thank you for being here, and I will let people go. I have a family friend visiting, but thank you for being here. I hope it was productive, and I will be streaming tomorrow on Twitch at 1 p.m. Eastern. I think that's the time. It's on the Inimitable Books website and on our Twitch schedule. Same username as here, Inimitable Books. So, thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Let me just find the outro.